There are two categories of states that we flip through as human beings all day long, back and forth between one and the other. And this process is occurring largely unconsciously, all day, every day. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what those two states are, as well as the pros and cons of each, so that you can have, hopefully at the end of this video, some more intentionality in recognizing, first of all, some awareness in recognizing which one you're in and which one you're not in, as well as some intentionality as to being able to flip between the ones that would be most appropriate for you given the circumstances that you're in. In the field of neurolinguistic programming, we refer to these two categories of states as downtime states and uptime states. And so downtime states are kind of where we're lost in our mind, whereas uptime states is where we are present in the moment, in our senses, in the environment around us. So an example of a downtime state is probably a pretty poor example of a downtime state is if you are ever sitting inside of your home, your office, and you're having these kind of emotional responses that aren't serving you, even though the environment around you is calm. So there's no threat in the actual physical environment, but you're caught up in your emotions. Well, that's most likely being caused by a downtime state, an inside state, because you are not responding to what's actually going on in the physical environment around you. So that response is due to something that you are thinking yourself into that state. And so that would be an unresourceful use of a downtime state. Whereas if we go with the quote from the famous Gestalt therapist Fritz Perls, which is to lose your mind and come to your senses. Now all of a sudden what that quote is asking someone to do is to come to an uptime state where we're present, we're in the moment. And so if you ever find yourself in a downtime state that's unresourceful, meaning that your emotional response is not due to the physical environment around you, but it's due to your thinking yourself into it, then some great questions to pull you or somebody else out of that state would to be asked some uptime state questions, like notice some of the things that you see in the room around you. What can you see in the room around you physically? What do you hear in the room around you? What do you feel on your skin? Not feeling emotions, but what's the temperature of the room that you're feeling right now? What's the feeling of your feet on the floor? What's the feeling of your butt on the chair? And so those kinds of questions will pull someone into an uptime state, a present state awareness, which would be really valuable if someone's caught in an unresourceful kind of trance state, a hypnotic state, a downtime state. Another distinction here is when we're talking about uptime versus downtime. In the field of neurosemantics, we would refer to an uptime state as a primary state experience where we are responding to the world, and a downtime state as a meta state experience where we are responding to our responses. We are responding to our own thoughts and our own feelings, not to the physical environment. So let's talk a little bit about some positive uses of these states. Well, uptime states of present state awareness are really valuable in moments where we need to perform. So for example, if we're communicating with someone, we're going to want to be for the most part, in an uptime state, paying attention to them. If we're lost in our mind thinking about what we're going to say next or what happened yesterday or what we're going to do later today, all of a sudden our consciousness gets pulled inside into a downtime state, and now we are no longer really listening to the person in front of us. So while in communication, for the most part, we're going to want to remain in an uptime present state awareness to improve our listening skills. And that also applies for any sort of performance you're doing. So whether it's a sports performance, if you're singing or dancing, potentially for an audience, or you're responding to what's going on in the environment around you, you're going to want to remain in an uptime state for the most part. Or if you're public speaking, you can tell I'm pretty much here in the present with you, besides every once in a while I go up inside my head to go grab some information to come out to deliver to you. And you could imagine if you had a boxer in a ring, they're going to want to remain in a pretty uptime state. Otherwise, if they start to go into their mind and think about what they're going to do next too deeply, they're going to be pulled into an uptime state, probably unpleasantly, with a nice shot to the face. So there you have it. We've got this distinction between downtime states where we go inside, uptime states where we're present in the moment with our senses. And we can also use these downtime states resourcefully, right? So well, just like you could be in your home in a quiet environment and get yourself in a turbulent state on the inside, You can also be at home in a quiet environment and be feeling really amazing. You can go inside into a downtime and access some really powerful, resourceful states, some healing states, some really high self-transcendent states. And so we can use these downtime and uptime states for our service as tools that we can use to perform better, to get better results, to feel more fulfilled in our lives, or we can use them to our own detriment. And I guess my question for you is, well, which way are you using it? Are you going inside when you should be outside, and you're going outside when you should be inside? Or do you have a pretty appropriate balance and awareness of when you should be outside and when you should be inside, and then having the power to actually to switch channels and to be able to do that consciously at will when appropriately, or even unconsciously, but in the appropriate way would be the ideal arrangement for this. So I hope you found this video valuable. I'm looking forward to hear what you're taking away from this. Please leave that in the comments section here, because I always love to hear what you're taking away, what you're learning, what your experience is with this phenomena. If you don't know me yet, my name is Jason Schneider. I'm the founder of the Perception Academy, and I work with coaches, trainers, and leaders to unleash the highest and best of human potential, starting with themselves. Yeah, I hope that you found this video valuable. So leave your comments around here. I hope to see you there, and otherwise I'll see you in future videos. Have a great rest of your day, and maybe a little bit of a higher level of awareness of when you're going inside versus outside, so that you can be outside appropriately and inside appropriately. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the comments section.